Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Yoon Jung-min. We begin with the stark contrast in performances by Korea's two leading firms. Hyundai Motor posted its best performance in the second quarter thanks to a higher demand for its signature models. SKhainicks, on the other hand, suffered losses as global chip demand remains in the doldrums. As our Lee Soo-jing reports, the chip industry expects a turnaround in the second half.
South Korea's auto giant Hyundai Motor and chip maker SKhainicks saw contrasting business performances in the second quarter of this year. But both hint that they expect to see more robust global demand in the second half. Hyundai Motor once again saw record quarterly operating profit. In its preliminary regulatory filing released on Wednesday, the company's operating profit surged 42.2% to $3.3 billion during the April to June period compared to the same period the previous year. This is the third consecutive quarter of record quarterly operating profits. Sales came to $33.1 billion, up around 17% on year. The company attributed the growth to robust sales of SUVs, Genesis luxury models, and EVs. The company said it expects continued growth with the increase in production from the stabilization in the global supply of chips and components.
There's more supply than demand for chips, lowering prices, which bodes well for auto companies.
Chipmaker SKhainicks, on the other hand, posted an operating loss of more than $2.2 billion during the second quarter this year, a stark contrast to the operating profit of more than $3 billion in the same period last year. According to its regulatory filing, its revenue also plunged nearly 50% on year to nearly $6 billion. This marks the first time in a decade that the company recorded operating losses for 3 consecutive quarters. However, there is optimism about its performance in the second half as the generative AI market continues to grow. The second quarter already saw a lower operating loss compared to the first quarter, thanks to the surge in demand for essential components for AI servers, such as high bandwidth memory and double data rate premium products. One expert says this is good news for the nation's exports.
This will have a positive impact on exports. Exports will go up, and the question really is about how much it will go up in the second half.
This is also largely in line with the Finance Ministry's forecast in its Economic Green Book released earlier this month that the slowdown in the economy will ease as exports recover in the latter half. Lee Soo-jing, Arirang News.